Hi, in today's lesson, we are going to study the half volley. The half volley is one of the most challenging strokes in tennis because it requires good anticipation, racket control, and balance. You will encounter the half volley situation most of the times when you want to make the transition from the baseline to the net, especially in doubles, when your opponents will want to hit the ball down at your feet and you have to get down and pick it up. The first thing, let's start with the grip. The one I recommend for hitting your half volleys is the continental or hammer grip, which you get by placing the V of your hand, made by the index and thumb, on the edge of your racket and slide it down towards the bottom. And the way you hold the racket, it looks like you can hammer a nail with the edge of the racket. So continental grip, I recommend for the half volley. So as soon as you move up to the net, towards the net, and you notice that a ball is coming down to your feet, change your grip into the continental. And very important, never approach the balls that come down to your feet standing straight. Always bend your knees. So I cannot stress enough how important it is as you're about to pick up the ball that drops close to your feet, to lower the center of gravity by bending your knees, keeping your back straight, get the racket behind the incoming ball, no backswing. So very important. Once again, let me make a little demonstration. So you're coming up to the net, you're getting down by bending your knees, keep your back straight. You have the hammer or continental grip ready. Get the racket behind the path of the incoming ball with the continental grip ready. No backswing. So once again, you come up, get down. Imagine the ball is bouncing just in front of you. Strings should be already set behind the path of the ball. And you want to pick it up by pushing from your legs. All right, so again, do not bend your back. It's all in the legs. So as I mentioned earlier, make sure that you always bend your knees. Sometimes I see players just being more comfortable and just picking up the ball by scooping it and lowering their racket. Most of the time, if you do that, you're just going to pop the ball up. And if you're playing doubles, the opposing net player will love to get that kind of shot. For more control, like I said, bend your knees. Okay, bend your knees, get the continental grip ready. The racket should be more like parallel to the net or to the ground when you are about to make contact with the ball. All right, so don't be lazy. Make sure you bend your knees and pick up the ball with the racket kind of parallel with the net or the ground. Another thing I want to point out is you do not want to turn sideways. As soon as the ball approaches, actually you're approaching the ball, you want your body to be about 45 degrees angled towards the net. By turning sideways, your racket is going to be too far back, which we do not want. So again, I'm ready to hit that ball right off the bounce. I want to be turned about 45 degrees. Racket in front of me. Do not let the racket pass your shoulders and behind the path of the incoming ball. The contact with the ball during the half volley. So as we mentioned earlier, you set by bending your knees, continental grip, racket out in front, body about 45 degrees angled, no backswing. Very important. Like I said, just set the racket in front of you and behind the path of the incoming ball, right off the bounce. After you bend your knees, as you bend your knees, you want to pick up the ball. And one important aspect, do not think of the half volley as a swing. You shouldn't expect to get too much power of it. The half volley is more of a shot of finesse and placement, which we're going to talk about later in the next video, which is the follow-through. But for now, I want you to just remember that as you prepare to make contact with the ball, your body should be down. The center of gravity should be low. From your knees back straight, and as you make contact right off the bounce, you want to push through the ball by using your legs and your arm, obviously. All right. So get the racket set behind the path of the ball, and right off the bounce, you want to push from your legs and guide it with your legs and arm. All right. So it's not a swing; it's more like a push. The finish for the half volley. So as we mentioned in the contact phase, you want to be bent from your knees. You make contact right off the bounce, strings facing forward, continental grip, and at contact you want to push from your legs and transfer your weight forward into the shot. All right? Now after contact you want to continue with the racket in the direction of your target, but still not a long follow through. More like you push, you show the ball which way to go. In this case, my racket is facing cross court, so I just hit a cross court shot. Or if I want to make it down the line, I finish with the strings facing into that direction. Another thing to understand is that because the half volley is a transition shot, you're using it mostly as you come up to the net. You want to obviously keep going after you make contact. You want the momentum to carry you forward. So in no way you're going to move back to the baseline after hitting a half volley. You want to keep going forward. The purpose of the half volley is, one, to get the ball over the net. Again, it's a challenging shot. Don't try to be too fancy with it. First of all, just try to get it over the net and obviously into the court. Second, if you're playing singles, you might want strategically to keep it straight ahead from you, or if you see an opening, go for it. Keep it short or whatever the situation dictates. If you're playing doubles, the number one priority is to keep that shot away from the opposing net player. In the next few minutes, I would like to show you a few ways for you to learn or practice the half volley. First off, get a bunch of balls next to you and take it one at a time. Hold the racket with the continental grip, and what I'd like you to do is bounce the ball one at a time, and right as the ball drops, I would like you to bend your knees and catch the ball right as it comes up off the ground, and with no backswing, having the racket just behind the ball, right off the bounce, I would like you to push through. All right? So you're going to bounce, bend your knees, and right off the bounce, push your racket through the ball, in the same time actually helping yourself with your legs by extending them. So watch this. All right, so that's what you do. Let me get actually a few balls. So bend the knees and push through. Racket behind the ball, right off the bounce. I want you to pick it up. And you see what I'm doing? I'm getting some power, even though we cannot say that the half volley is a powerful shot. But I do want, considering that I do not have a backswing, I want to get some of the power from my legs, from pushing up and transferring forward. So once again, bounce and push. Bend the knees. So bend the knees in the same time with your racket, and push from your legs in the same time as you push through the ball. So push up and forward. So here we go. Let me do it a few more times. So bend and push. No backswing. Get the power from your legs. All right? So practice this in the beginning just to get a feel for the timing and in making contact. And obviously, if you're not used to hitting the ball, having a continental grip, this is a good opportunity for you to get a feel for it. Next, after you practice with the balls, you're going to position yourself at the service line or behind the service line. Get a partner who's willing to feed balls for you, or in my case, I'm going to be using a ball machine, and set it so that it feeds the balls to land just inside the service line. And you're going to turn slightly sideways, like I said earlier, 45 degrees. Get the continental grip ready, racket behind the eventual path of the ball, no backswing, so keep your racket in front of you. Again, body turned 45 degrees. Wait for the ball to come to you. As you anticipate the ball is about to bounce, bend your knees and get the racket moving forward right after the ball comes off the ground, and push up, emphasizing timing, pushing the ball with the continental grip and transferring the weight forward. So I set the ball machine, I'm behind the service line. Pretty soon I'm going to get the first few balls. Like I said earlier, turn about 45 degrees, angled towards the net, continental grip, racket strings, get them set behind the path of the incoming balls. And as the ball bounces, I want you to bend your knees and just push your racket through the ball. We don't want to swing. The half volley is not a swing, it's more like a push. You see, timing. And I would like you to practice the following. As the racket drops, I want you to bend your knees, and as the racket pushes, you're going to push from the legs. So we get some power from the legs, from pushing up and transferring forward, and from the shoulder that pushes the racket through the ball. So again, I get down with my racket, and I come up with my racket, and the follow through is also abbreviated. So practice this. Racket behind the ball, no backswing. Lower the racket by getting down. Keep your back straight, by the way. It's all from the legs. And you push the racket with your legs and the shoulder. So practice this. After a while, you can go for placement. Like I said, the string should follow the direction of your target. So if I'm going to go for cross court, you notice my racket my racket is pointing into that direction. If I go for down the line, my racket is facing into that direction too. So let's go cross court. That was a little deep, surprised me. Try again cross court. So you see strings just behind the ball and down the line. Again, no backswing. Keep the racket out in front, push, and slow, gentle follow through. Next, you can do some drills like backing up a little bit and coming up. There you go. So that's pretty much like you do in a match situation. Again, the racket should be in front of you, no backswing. Continental grip. Work on timing, footwork, do a little split step, get down and push, directing the ball wherever you want it to go. There you go. So do all kind of drills, be creative with it. Like I said, the main points are no backswing, keep the racket out in front, get down from your knees, push, follow through using a continental grip. Have fun with it. So as I mentioned earlier, make sure that you do not